children, welcome to the online EduClass session for class 6 chapter number 8 body movements part 2. Today we are going to discuss about the flexibility and the parts responsible for the flexible and folded movement of our body, and they are called joints. Joints are the points at which two bones are fitted together. These are the points at which we can rotate or bend our body. There are various types of joints and there are different locations in the human body as well. The most important joints in our body are first pivot joint, ball and socket joint, hinge joint and fixed joint. So, let's start with the first one, that is pivot joint. For that, first of all, hold your hand and move your wrist in and out, in and out, in and out. What you found? One bone sliding over another? Yes, actually there are two bones as we have discussed. Radius is sliding over ulna and the joint through which they are attached is pivot joint. A pivot joint is a joint that rotates in a way shown here. Examples of such a joint is not only in your forearm but it is near the neck that allows the head to rotate up and down, left and right and round. The one between radius and ulna allows forearm rotation and helps to turn the palm up and down. When our bones can move restrictedly along one axis, it indicates the presence of hinge joint. Like elbows and knees, they can move in one direction at an angle of 180 degrees. Hinge joints are those that allow movement along one plane. They facilitate bending and straightening action such as flexing of fingers, etc. In a hinge joint, protective cartilage covers the bones and a thick gel-like fluid lubricates them, allowing the movement without abrasion and rubbing against each other. All are containing muscles and ligaments for stabilization. Knee also contains too many of the ligaments that prevents the bones to move too far forward or far backward and provides stability for the inner knee and the outer knee. Knee tendons attach the tibia to the patella. Right? Now, in ball and socket joint, you can observe here a partial spherical structure is present inside a socket allowing movement in all the directions. These are like hips and arms. A joint in which rounded surface of a bone moves within a depression in another bone, allowing greater freedom of movement than any other kind of joint. It is most highly developed in the hip and large shoulder joints where it provides swings from the arms and legs in various directions and also spin of those limbs upon more stationary bones. As the name suggests now, the fixed joint allows no movements at all. They are found over the skull region only. Since bones provide support, protection and movement, so the bones in the skull like cranium, mandible, maxilla, etc. they give protection to the brain. They form immovable joints which do not allow any type of movements. We have discussed so many times ligaments. What are they? And what are tendons? Ligaments and tendons are actually the connective tissue. The difference between them is ligaments are joining two bones together, whereas tendons are joining muscles to the bones. Okay, so this is all about our body movement. X-rays are the short wave wavelength of electromagnetic spectrum which require high voltage to produce X-rays, and they are required for capturing the human skeletal defects. as they can pass through all the tissues, but they cannot pass through the bones of human body. If someone's bone is fractured at the radius ulna, let's take an example, we can easily see through the x-rays and we can fix it up by putting a permanent immovable plaster over it. By this way, we can scan all the body parts and get a black and white image of all the body organs for seeing through the light. Let's start with the movement of other animals like earthworm, snail, birds, snakes or fishes. In our gardens, there are so many earthworms which move just few layers below the soil and feed on organic matter to convert it into rich humus. They does not have any bones. Earthworm's body is made up of actually rings. A slimy substance secreted by its body aids in movement. They use their ringed muscles to extend the body when moving forward. Once they extend their body, the tiny hair-like structures known as bristles come outside from inside their bodies down into the soil. These bristles act as an anchor so that the worm can then pull the rear part of the body forward. Once the back part of the body has been advanced, earthworms retract the bristles from the front of their bodies and insert other bristles positioned in the rear portion of their bodies. This allows them to anchor once more, this time pushing their front halves forward again, and this makes the earthworm move slowly but steadily on the ground surface. In the rainy season, we observe snails on the surface of earth, on the walls and many other places which are damp. It has a slimy body which does not have bones. The outer exoskeleton, called the shell, made up of calcium carbonate, does not help in movement. It is to be carried along only. The foot of the snail is a thick structure and is made up of strong muscles. Most of the snail's body actually consists of large foot, and so the part of the body touching the floor is known as the sole. As the snail moves forward, mucus comes out of a gland located at the front end of the foot, and the snail moves across this gooey surface, gooey substance. Next in the series is the kitchen disaster, which we call cockroach, which is found all over stale, dirty and putrefying organic matter. Its exoskeleton is hard and stiff. 3 pairs of legs help in walking. 4 wings means 2 pairs of wings help to fly. The body muscles move the wings when it flies. Each leg moves up and down like a pogo stick and back and forth like pendulum. The front and back legs on one side move at the same time as the middle leg on the other side. In this way, cockroach can move over nearly all types of surfaces. In the sky, if you have ever seen the birds flying, you must have felt that it is one of the best and most relaxing sight. Birds have their 4 limbs modified into wings. As we have hands, they have wings. Presence of hollow and light bones reduces their weight. Hind limbs help in walking and perching. Breast muscles are very strong along with the strong shoulder bones, which help them to flap their wings and give them the thrust to move through the air and fly. Also, one important thing, birds don't have any type of urinary bladder, which also aids in reducing their weight and helping to have a streamlined flight. In a way, birds use a swimming motion to get the lift needed to Fly. Plain wings have the similar shape as the bird wings, but instead of flapping their wings, we use engines to thrust them into the air and create a lift needed to fly. Now the snakes. They don't have any limbs. I just wonder how they manage to move around when the need arises. Snakes move by the help of long backbone and thin muscles. They have too many of thin bones also which are attached to this long backbone, making their body strong. And they have incredible flexible body. Depending upon the type of snakes, their long spine can have hundreds of ribs attached to the middle long backbone. Each rib is connected to strong muscles that the snake can use to push itself along. Snakes move around by using a combination of muscles and scales. The snake's scales give them the ability to grip onto the textured vertical surface. They are not having any type of hands, but these snakes can hold on tightly. Loops made by their body help them in moving forward. They move fast, but not ever in a straight line. They cannot move on frictionless surface and they cannot move in a straight line path. Finally, we are coming to the most delicate and sweet organism. They are fishes. Presence of scales on the fish skin reduces frictional drag along with making them very beautiful, very colorful, smooth and shiny. It possesses a streamlined shape which enhances locomotion or the movement. Coordination between the muscles and tail helps the fish to move. Fins aid in the movement in water and they are swimming by flexing their bodies and the tail back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Fish stretch or expand their muscles on one side of their body while relaxing the muscles on the opposite or the other side. This motion moves them forward through the water. Fish use their back fin called the caudal fin to push through the water. Thus, they are having a smooth streamlined motion cutting the water currents and having a smooth movement. Here, children, we are over with the chapter. Dear kids, we have learned so many types of movements in which some are ours and some are others. So keep moving on your path of learning. Never stop till the heart is working. See you soon. Thank you.